What's good, YouTube? We're back again with episode number 2 of the turbo build. Now I have the car finally back in the garage. It's time to look at what exactly the fabricator has done. This episode is a bit of a update episode. It just came back from the fabricator, the car has, and it's been about a month there. A lot has been done, but yeah, basically just go through with you all what has been done and what is yet to be done to get this turbo finally installed and boosted. Okay, starting from the intake side, I've got him to make me a lobster back intake runner with the HIP logo. That's just going to go on the end of here, which is a 3-inch coupler, and it's going to sit like this. Now, because it's quite long, that was the reason why for this little bracket here, which will be bolted onto this factory flange, I'm gonna put a riv nut, I think, through there, a rivet thingy through this flange, so to keep it from falling downwards. And then, oh, actually, can I tilt this? Yeah, I can. Okay, so then the filter will go onto here, and then maybe remove this alarm somewhere else so that I can get the cold air intake from the cowl up here by the windshield, cold air. Maybe cut a hole through there into the filter. So the things to do here is I need to get it at least running, need a filter, some couplers here, yeah, for the intake pre-turbo side. I'll just have this whiteboard to take notes of what I need to do. Filter, mount, intake bracket, which is that little thing with the HIP logo to stop it from falling down, and then couplers. Now he's got coupler. Yep, couplers pre turbo. Okay, moving on to the turbo side now. It is this wastegate. It's not attached to the compressor housing, and that is because this is a IHI VF30, and it's usually clocked with the exit facing this way. So yeah, the flange needed to be removed. And what I need to do to get this to work, if I get rid of this, is that there are some bolt holes along the compressor housing, and what I gotta do is cut a plate so that I can offset the bolts onto this and then weld this to the plate. That will give me let me use the factory wastegate, which I believe is like 7 psi, which is good for low boost. Cut wastegate plate. And following that, it's the HCHRA. It's clocked semi-vertical, but I do really kind of want to turn this guy a little bit more vertical. It's about like maybe 2 or 3 degrees that way. But yeah, that's me just be pedantic, and you know, everyone says to put it vertical, so let's do that. This is a oil and water turbo, so I will like to do both. So the next thing to do is route the oil line, the high pressure feed, to the block, which is down there, and also do the oil return into the oil pan. Once the oil is sussed out, we need to look at the water lines. Now, I posted on miataturbo.net, and some of the feedback came back with routing it in parallel with the heater core. Now, I still have the heater core plumbed in, so the way to run it in parallel is that this top heater hose will go into the heater core, as well as one of the ports on the turbo, and then when it comes out of the heater core through this line that goes all the way underneath into the water mixer behind the power steering pump, you can tee off that between there and the water mixer to the other port here. I'll probably put a photo of what I'm talking about on the screen. because it took a while for me to understand and what's the best way to route and make it look the cleanest. I'm still toying up a little bit of different ideas on how to route it, but I think that's the cleanest. The top line to one of them, to bottom line to the other side. Following on from that, the downpipe, which is also very magnificently made, is really close to these water lines, so I'll need to get some heat proofing for both the water lines and the brake lines that are around here. And yeah, so heat proofing the lines. Heat proof lines. Right, the next thing is the sensor. This is the bung for the O2. It's not there at the moment because I got it in the car, but yeah, we need to install the O2 sensor. And speaking of sensors, the intake temperature sensor that was in the intake will now need to be moved post intercooler, so somewhere along this line into the throttle body. So that's number 2 sensor. Number 3, there is the idle control line here isn't plumbed in, so I don't know if you can see, there's a black AN fitting where my finger's pointing. I need to route that into here somehow. So that's all welded into the intake pipe. As far as intercooler and piping is concerned, everything is done. It's all clamped down. It's all made out of one piece. So it goes from after the turbo, it's a one welded aluminum piece that goes all the way around, and then a coupler in there. Same with the cold side, so that was the hot side. The cold side, one coupler going down. There's the aluminum pipe there with the fitting for the idle valve. Goes all the way around, and then coupler, can you see it? Yeah, maybe in there. And the blow-off valve is also welded already, so it sits in there. So the things I need to do is to oh yeah, and this guy here, so this guy is the rocker cover breather. That is no longer needed because I'm going to put a filter under there, so a little filter on the rocker cover, as well as plumbing in the blow-off valve. Just gonna add it to here. Rocker, oh, I can't spell. Rocker cover filter. And BOV plumbing. Actually, I forgot as well, while we're on the topic of plumbing, I need to plumb in the wastegate, which will go after the intercooler because it will take a while for the turbo to spool to 7 psi, and I want this reading to be taken after the intercooler because there's some pressure drop as it goes through into here, through the intercooler, and then out there. So I might take this reading from somewhere out here, so need to think about how to plumb that. So wastegate here, cut wastegate plate, and plumb in. Along with the IHI VF30 turbo from the Subaru, that compressor wheel there is a billet wheel, which supposedly will give me a bit more spool. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that go, or oh, I can't wait. Alright, now that I've explained all the stuff that you can see from the engine bay, it's time to look underneath the car to show you the 3-inch turbo back exhaust. Okay, so coming from the 3-inch downpipe, there's a flexi pipe there, followed by a big ass resonator, and then followed by another resonator, and then there's a little elbow which goes on top of the lower suspension brace before exiting out through a straight pipe. And you can see it there, the little elbow on top of the brace, and it's just BAM! Straight out the back. Boom! And that concludes the end of this video. All that's left to do is really to put back the front bumper and then knock stuff off the things to do on the list. Not long now till the MX5 is boosted and doing Su-tutus, but stay tuned for that. Peace.